I like my art journal illustration to reflect what's going on in my life. So right now I'm going to go and visit my husband in the coming week. I'm launching my new book on Friday, and I've got my puppy here watching me, so she's all a part of it. And of course my garden just outside the door where I'm working now. I've got a lovely courtyard and I've got fuchsias that I've just planted. What I want to encourage you to do is use your life in your journals, whether it's writing, whether it's illustration. Make it personal, make that journal something that you'd like to keep because it's reflecting a diary of your life. Hello, come journal with me in mixed media. Well, my new AVEC Cousins journal has arrived and I've just started it, and I've begun with the week spread for the first week of July. Now I'll take this at about 4 times the speed that I did it, so you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I'm working with fountain pen and fountain pen ink, and I'm using a beautiful vintage pen that I bought with a gold nib. Now I'm not filling the pen with ink because it actually needs restoration. The pen, it needs the sac replaced, so I'm using it as a dip pen, and it's a beautiful pen for dipping. I love working with a gold nib because it's a softer nib and there's a little bit of flex to the nib, and I like that. We all have our personal preference in style and what we like to work with, and there isn't a right or wrong, it's what you like. You may be quite happy with a steel nib from a cheaper pen, but if you can't afford the money for an expensive brand new gold nib pen and you would like to try a gold nib pen, why don't you have a look in the second hand and see what you can find. Remembering, if the pen needs restoration, as long as the nib is in good condition, you can use it as that dip pen, and it actually will hold more ink for longer because of the construction of the feed for the nib than just using an ordinary dip pen. So it's my preference quite often for writing is to dip an old vintage gold nib pen. Now I've used this as the weekly spread, and at the top of the page I'll have the section directly under where I've got the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday line. I have 5 chores, to-do list things that are written down, and they're repeated every week, and there are the 5 major things that I want to do every day for, well, at least the next 6 months, because this is a 6-month journal that I'm working in. So they won't change, and it's more a number thing that I'll be writing in. There'll be my word count because I'm an author, so I will have a goal of writing, say, 2,000 words a day, so there'll be a number that I will fill in there. There's my steps. I wear, a lot of us do, a step counter, and again I will have a minimum steps that I ask of myself to do each day, and they will go in at the end of the day. You cannot write if you don't read. Well, some people do, but really, to be a good writer, you need to have a love of literature and to read a lot. So I've put down read as one of my goals to do every single day. And I've got the write and the journaling. So I will be doing my journaling. And I will try to bring as many as I can to you in the videos, showing you what I've done and what I've worked with. In this particular one, as I said, I've used the fountain pen ink, and because I'm going to go over it with a wet medium gouache and watercolour, I've used a permanent ink. There's a number of permanent inks you can use. I've used carbon black for this particular illustration. Now, for the coloured medium, I've got an opaque gouache, which is opaque watercolour is gouache. I've used the white. You don't have to use gouache in all the colours. If you've got a watercolour set, you can use all your coloured watercolours and just add the white to make them opaque. So that's basically what I've done. I've used a pan set of Winsor & Newton pan colours in watercolour, and I have added the Winsor & Newton white gouache to them to create the opacity. Now I've used the gouache for this because this paper will handle watercolour, but it tends to buckle if you use a lot of wet medium on it. And by using gouache, I've been able to apply it with less water, more thick and pasty. So it has done no buckling, and as you can see, there's no bleeding through on the other side. Well, I said no buckling. I saw a tiny bit of buckling there. It would press out if you put this book under a heavy weight, but there's no bleed through. These are thin pages, but because of the quality of the paper, although they're thin, which makes it nice and lightweight to carry in your handbag, it's a lovely paper quality, and you don't have the weight and you don't get the bleed through, and yet you don't have to have a heavy sheet of paper. So this is a lovely compromise. To find a journal that will take both wet medium and be able to write nicely with pen and ink. So I've really enjoyed working with this particular book. And again, the brand HOBONICHI, and they have several different sizes. This is the A5 size and several different styles. This is the Cousins AVEC. The Cousins AVEC goes from July to December. The Cousins AVEC, that will be the year split in two. So again, say as you're having to carry a heavy weight, you've got one book that will be January through to June, and then you have July through to December. Or you can just get the Cousins, which is the whole year in one. You can also get this quality paper just in plain notebooks and fill them in yourself. But what I like about this one, it's already pre-set out. You have your month at a glance pages. You have your weekly spread page, which I've just decorated. That's the weekly spread page, which basically comes much plainer than that, similar to that, but I've already started working on that with the pen. And then you have your day to a page spread at the back, where you can use it like a diary. So I'll be using each of these, and I'll be doing, I don't know if you can see, I've done a sketch there, and I will be doing a starter page for each month, a header page, and then I will actually do a sketch or painting with the diary notes. So I like making a journal personal. A lot of people get these journal books and they'll buy stickers and all sorts of washi tapes and things, and they will just sit and decorate them, and that is perfectly fine. You can turn these journals into a craft and writing journal. But what I like to see people do is to make it personal. And so the page that I started off with here features fuchsias, and I have done them deliberately out of focus. I've created an illustrative style. I haven't tried to do a fine art style. But the page suggests my garden, where at the moment I'm setting up my courtyard and I have quite a few fuchsias in there. I've chosen fuchsias because they're actually pet friendly, and I have my puppy Tess. And I don't want to grow things in my garden that are going to be harmful to my dog. So I have put the illustration of my fuchsias onto that page, which makes it a very personal journal. That's where I am this week. In the to-do list, I'm a good wife. I put down for my major focus for the week will be visiting my husband. He's in aged care, and that's my major focus, which is really quite crazy, because after working for 6 months, something like 100 hours a week, on Friday I'm actually releasing a novel, and that should probably have been the priority for the week after all that hard work. And it's very special to me. So I have the first of a series of cosy mystery novels being released on Friday, and I would love some support with that. If you read it and you love it, I'd love to have a review. That just delights me to see people making a comment about my books. If you go to my website, which is my name, ronchelle.com, you will find that you can actually download a small book offering. There's always something there that I've written, offered to free for my followers, people who want to get my newsletter. So you can sample my work for free without ever buying anything. And if you are in KU, Kindle Unlimited, you can read my book without paying extra as part of the Kindle Unlimited program. So I try to make my books easily available to you. Mainly I've worked in historical fiction set in Australia up until now, all of them with a little bit of mystery written in, and this time it's just straight out very light-hearted, enjoyable, cosy mystery with a female sleuth, 50 years of age, and she's wanting to change her life. One of the things she does is take up journaling, and that is going to help her open her eyes and become more observant. She's learning art. Artists are very observant people, and this is going to help her in her sleuthing abilities and the extra time she's going to have retiring from her legal profession. She'll have the knowledge that she gained through the profession, but the time to be a great sleuth. So a lot of fun, a little bit of hint of romance to begin, but it's not a romance novel as such. There's deeper storylines than that. There's a young girl, a teenager. She will be in it, so it's not just 50 plus age group. There'll be a cast of characters and a cute puppy called Tess. My own dog just happens to be Tess. So the puppy in the novel will be modelled on my own puppy. So I hope you will follow and enjoy my novel writing, and the journaling will be a feature of the novel writing. I will have tips on journaling throughout because, as I said, my main character is being a journalist, and of course I'll talk about my novels here when I do the videos on my journaling. So I'd love to have you subscribe to this channel. Go into the comments down below and see where the link to my website is. Maybe pick up my free book from my website and get my newsletter and follow me that way. It's a two-way stretch. It's no good me writing if I don't have feedback from readers. That's a really enjoyable part of it. Now, happy journaling, and I'll try to do this at a pace so that you can follow along. Paint free and loose and easy and enjoy it. Happy creativity and enjoy your work. There's no stress at all. Just do something that has meaning to you. You don't have to do a journal that you need to show other people. It can be completely personal. Now feel welcome to comment and tell me what art mediums you would like to see demonstrated in art journaling. If you have a preference for having weekly spreads demonstrated or single pages or the monthly spread. The mediums I will usually work with will always be fountain pen and fountain pen ink. I have a passion for the fountain pens. If you would like to have me mention what ink I'm working with and demonstrate different colours or different types of fountain pens, let me know. Basically, it's a two-way street. If I get feedback from you, I know what it is that you're interested in, and I'm only too happy to try to help. And again, please follow the novels because there'll be information about art journaling within them because my main character will be a journalist.